will change your life if you do this. Your business will totally change if you make quick decisions. Speed of implementation. There's two things we have to work for with this one. Shortening the idea to action gap. Ideally, from idea to implementation is short as possible. The second part of it, shortening the time of action to as little as possible while maintaining a sufficient amount of quality. Okay? So the first thing we practice is shorten the idea to action time. All right? So when you're starting out in business, this is actually extremely simple. Because you really don't got much going for you, right? You're just starting out. So anytime you get an idea, you act on it immediately. It's that simple. Okay? If you get the idea when you can't act on it, then you act on it the first chance you get to act on it. But almost every single idea can be acted on in some way instantly, especially with today's technology. I'm sick as a dog. I'm laying in bed. I got my damn iPad there. I got the new iPad with the dictation, and I'm dictating stuff. I wake up dead sick with an idea. Grab the iPad, dictate it really quickly into the note section of my iPad, save it, go back to sleep, right? That's some implementation at least. Then the next chance I get, I start working on it a little bit, you know? Noelle asks a wonderful question. I love this question. What do you do if you can't find the solution to your problem to implement it? Great question. Yeah, with the new iPad, JT, dictation comes right, it's built right into the iPad keyboard. It's slick. It's the same thing as Siri, same voice recognition that Siri uses. Okay, Noelle asked the question. I want somebody to try to attempt to answer it. What do you do if you can't find the solution to the problem, to your problem to implement it? And Beth, it does work well, but I have that flat Iowa accent, so maybe that helps. Okay. Some of the answers I get: Google it, ask on a forum, fake it. I like that one. Move on to the next. Okay. Give it to the universal mind. Ask for help. Kit has my favorite. Kit has my favorite. Find a workaround. Yep. Go around it, go over it, go under it, Mark says. All right? Here's my answer. To answer Noelle. What do you do if you can't find the solution to the problem to implement it? Here's my answer. There's always a solution. There's always a solution. Okay? Sometimes the solution is to stop doing it and do something else. That's a solution in my opinion. Okay? I'll tell you what I used to do all the time back in the day. Okay? Getting ready to launch a product. I can't figure out how to tie PayPal and Aweber together to where when somebody buys in PayPal, it automatically adds them to my Aweber email list. I can't figure this out. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, I didn't have Will back then. This is little Jason Fladlien all by himself. Okay? You know what I did? I didn't tie them together automatically. Okay? I just put on my download page, I said, hey, if you'd like future updates for free, sign up here. Now download your stuff. Problem solved. Right? Was that the technically correct way to do it? No. Did it take me like two seconds to do it? Yeah. Right? And nowadays it's not really a problem anymore because there's so much technology that can automatically do that for you. But that's an example of the stuff that holds people back these days. They want to do something the technically most correct way possible. when sometimes the workaround is not only infinitely easier, but in some cases it's preferred. Heck, if it was up to me, we'd still probably be doing it that way to this day. But after a while, when you grow, then you can pay other people to do that stuff, right? Or you can take a break and relax and figure it out leisurely. But oftentimes you don't have the luxury of being leisurely. And almost everybody here was like, well, you go to YouTube and figure it out. Contact customer support. They could probably tell you. Here's the problem with all that. All that takes a lot of time. And it's out of my control. So most of the times I find a workaround, an imperfect solution. All right? But it's still a solution. And that's the most important thing. So shortening the idea to action as short as possible. Most people don't take an idea and immediately put it into action because they get hung up on something that they don't know the solution for, and which is what was part of Noelle's question, which I thought was brilliant. I'm glad she brought it up. That ties it in perfectly. Okay? Yeah, and now we even build tools that do that for you automatically. Second nature, the whole email thing. But let's not get hung up on the example. The point is the important part. Okay? After you shorten the idea to action as small as possible, remember when I said when you're starting, it's easy. You do it the first moment you got, okay? The bigger you get, the harder it becomes because typically you'll be juggling multiple things. So then the formula will eventually become you start prioritizing. Idea comes in, you put the idea into an action category with a time when you will act on it because you have to prioritize when you're big, okay? But when you're just starting, or if you're not making a lot of money, then you act on it immediately because you don't have anything else going on. That's important. Right? Then, after you get good at that, shorten the time of action to as little as possible while maintaining a sufficient amount of quality. And we're going to talk a lot more about that here in a bit. So here's my answer to that, okay? All this can be done with deadlines. And this is similar to the quick decision making, right? Where I say 60 seconds or less, but then how come nobody does it? How many people here work religiously with their deadlines? A deadline is an integral part of your day. You practically are married to a deadline, okay? Everybody on this call should have said yes to that. You cannot function at a high level if you don't live and die by the deadline.